Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Toby and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Toby, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate, Billy is joining us on the show today.
Absolutely.
I'm pumped. I've heard you tell me a lot about him. But before we go there, what's going on in your world this week?
I think this week my world's all about finding balance, you know, coming off school holidays and bits and pieces, thinking about the next holiday and then getting through the middle in between.
Yep.
So
I hear you.
I've joined the Recovery Lab.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Actually, Bruce McFarlane,
Yes.
good mate of mine.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And I see you tagging the Recovery Lab in your area, which I think is Bruce's daughter.
It is. It's his daughter's. Yeah. He got me in there and, you know, the free trial, and next thing you know, I'm hooked. I absolutely love it.
No, I love it too. I was supposed to be with Bruce today down in the Mornington Peninsula. We're part of a group called EMT, which is Emerging Media Technology Alpha Leaders.
Right.
And I'm part of that group. But we're here filming instead. And so I had to send an apology. But during the break on the last pod, I had a missed call from Bruce.
There you go.
So
shout out, Bruce.
Yeah. Recovery Lab.
The Recovery Lab.
Yeah, it's great,
it's
right?
awesome.
You ice bathing?
Absolutely.
And saunering?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you using the
the leg
boots?
things, the boots. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
So I actually take my computer and use it like a second office. I actually took one of my colleagues from work the other day, and we both worked from there and just had the boots on.
Super cool.
And then they've got the room where you basically go to sleep. They put the headphones on, the mask, the weighted blanket, and then they put this little silver sticker on you, and it's supposed to, like, it really intensely changes the waves in your body and puts you in a calming state. And I did some research, New Calm, and the sticker's phenomenal. Like, the sticker does the work. It's incredible.
Placebo?
No, there's full-on really good science behind it.
Super cool.
So, New Calm.
And so coming up on the show is Billy. Do you want to just give me a high level or what the audience can expect on the show?
I met Billy decades ago now. So I used to train his whole family, and Billy would come along as well. They actually had an office next door to my gym back in Mount Martha. So I know Billy from a long time ago, but then he went to London, travelled around, and always been a super, super smart person. And he's in cyber security and IT, and I absolutely, can't wait to find out a little bit more.
All right. Well, before Billy comes on, we have a quick word from our friends at Purpose Production. Guys, you've seen me put out content for years. It all started with James Shadrack from Purpose Productions. We filmed over 800 vlogs, several hundred different pieces of content that has helped me take my business to the next level. We use Purpose Productions for all the content, pods, vlogs, and storytelling that we produce. Check out purposeproductions.co to learn how James and his amazing team can help you scale your business and get your message out there. Billy, cybersecurity, Billy, welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So what I've learnt, apart from the cybersecurity, that you've just had your first child.
Yeah, got a 10-month-old, which is actually the cause of my going out on my own and starting a business. As soon as we found out we were pregnant, I didn't want to come home burnt out and exhausted and conflicted, so I decided to start my own business.
Fantastic. And so cybersecurity, how did you land up in that?
Funnily enough, it was a COVID thing. So I did my 20s in reverse. I had a serious job and girlfriend, and then decided that wasn't for me, and I chased winters for 7 years. Came home for COVID, had a life-changing event and almost died, so then resolved to get into a different industry, and ended up in cybersecurity of all things after the COVID industry. COVID destroyed the recruitment industry initially, and they sacked everyone.
Yep.
Ended up in IT and cyber after that.
So there's like 10 things that you just like cruise through right
Boom.
there.
Yep.
The first thing I want to talk about is you chased winters.
Yeah,
Is that for you? Or
Yeah.
just accidentally?
No, love winters still.
Skiing. Your family are big
Yeah.
skiers. I remember this. There we
Yeah,
go.
so I love skiing
Yeah.
too, but for like 3 to 5 days. In fact, 5 I'm cooked. But you chased it for 6 years, you say?
Yeah, I had a weird trade. I used to make custom ski boots. There's only about 1,000 of
Okay.
us in the world, but
Okay.
kind
Told
of a
you were
weird
smart.
trade.
All right.
But yeah, so ended up doing that, and then I could still miss it. But that's part of the reason I went into technology as well, is because I can work remote. So I can time zone in Canada with Australia works quite well to ski and work.
So I would never give up a summer for a winter. So I would never go north to the US or, European countries during our summer vacation, because the beach time to me is just like, it's too precious.
Yeah, I could live in summer my whole life.
Yeah.
My husband won't holiday anywhere below an average temperature of 27. So I'm never going to Norway. I'm never going.
So I
ever.
like the
Nope.
winter holidays. Like I like going to New Zealand and going to Bulla and doing Threadbow and this and that. But
I will
only
be going solo.
really.
Maybe.
Wow. Okay. But Billy, chased it for 6 years. You love it.
Yeah.
So
still love it.
do you like dislike winter? Do you dislike summer, or you just love winter?
I've surfed my whole life. I love beach days. I surfed all weekend with my family, extended family, and all those things. But yeah, definitely prefer mountains and cold weather.
Okay, so that's the first thing we kind of like a life-changing event. You almost died.
Yeah, I got mugged while I was living in France chasing winters, and got mugged by some lovely, friendly neighbourhood gypsies, and woke up in hospital and major brain trauma, broken jaw.
Oof.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
Wow. And so you're sitting like I don't want to throw you back, and if it's too traumatic,
No,
we can cruise through it. But
I don't gloss over it.
any epiphanies? Any like holy shit? Like
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. I was quite unhappy at the time anyway. I'd been traveling for a long time, was lonely, hadn't had a partner in a long time, hadn't had a challenging job in a long time. So I sort of resolved to, I don't know, do something a bit more meaningful. Cool. And I didn't really know what that was. And I've kind of, took me a few years to figure it out. But yeah, that's how I ended up in the cyber and IT industry. It's a bit altruistic. There's obviously economic opportunities, but you get to protect people and empower people. And a lot of them are small business owners. And
so my brother-in-law used to be one of the top dogs at Norton Antivirus. I don't even know if that's still around. Symantec.
It's around at the personal level, like Harvey Norman and.
Oh, they still sell that sort of stuff? Because I got a Mac. I wouldn't have a clue, but
yeah,
I think Gmail sort of like protects me enough. No,
probably not. No,
Probably
but
not.
you can bury your head in the sand.
Okay, yeah. I don't need to bury my head, but like probably what I'm doing is not wildly out there.
Well, I trust my account to do my tax. I don't know it end to end, and I just hope it all works out. So it's the same thing. We're all got to weigh up our risks and opportunities in a business and prioritize which ones are available.
And then last season that just had in the NBL, there was a company called Nuova. They're a cybersecurity business.
I think they sponsor Melbourne as well.
They do. Melbourne Demons?
Yeah.
They sponsored them and the Phoenix. And I got close to Cameron Cummings, who seems like that's my closest to cybersecurity. So like, what's your position in that whole ecosystem?
So my tagline for my business is we do boring things for interesting people. So we cover, cybersecurity has about 12 to 15 different facets, and there's a lot of sub facets in that, and you can get really in depth, and people will hate me on the internet for saying there's a defined thing, but we do governance, risk and compliance. So we do strategy assessments, audits, and then make people compliant. And then we also do basic mobile device management, end user management, support, and security engineering. So we do a lot of that for tech companies. So they have in-house technical expertise. They don't need a lot of support, but we will come in and do their governance and their compliance, help them win the big deals to go. The government won't work with you unless you have a certain standard in place. So we help them achieve those standards. Mm-hmm. We're a lot more affordable than a big company, but we're a lot more agile as well. So that's kind of our little niche that we've found. And it's fun too, being a tech company, working with tech companies.
Yeah, I'm blown away by chasing winters and making ski boots into such a sophisticated, to a life-changing moment, to then going, I want to do something different. And like not just kind of like, hey, I think I'll open a shop, or I think I'll go and do something. Like you're like in this like deep level of sophistication. You're talking about governance and compliance and a whole bunch of stuff. how do you transition from chasing winters to being in such a sophisticated environment?
I've always been a people person and a problem person, so the same thing in my mind. So after the head injury, I started studying HR as I thought that would get me into management consulting. Found out quickly that all my HR experience running bars and nightclubs wasn't relevant. So I ended up in recruitment. So then it took me a while to figure it out and get there. I did a startup with a company around the corner, and we got that to $1 million or $1.5 million. And that was like my learning experience. I didn't get paid for a long time, but it allowed me to learn and talk to as many people as I could and be essentially incentivized to do that.
Yep.
And that kind of helped me learn. And then you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, and that makes it all work ultimately.
I don't know too many people that'd be smarter than Billy here. So where do you find these people?
Where do you find these people? You bring out superstar after superstar. I'm feeling like I'm getting a bit of a complex here. Like, I used to make dog toilets for a living. That was my claim to fame. I mean, dead serious.
He sold that. It's
yeah,
great business.
It was great business.
I would take that.
Well, during global financial crisis, the dogs are still shitting and still a problem. But like, it's nowhere near. Like, I had injection molding, like thermal issues, not cybersecurity, hacking, algorithms, and compliance issues.
I read a stat like 9 out of 10 businesses that you assess are non-compliant. Is that right? With corporate governance.
Yeah, it's careful not to put a blanket rule over cyber because it is very relevant to business and industry size, budget, all these kind of things. But very rarely do you see a business that's like nailed it. Or arguably their provider hasn't nailed it because it's impossible to do it a lot of the time if you don't either have the budget or you don't have the objective opinion to be like, well, this is a high risk, this is a low risk.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm going to connect you to a couple of people in my world outside of this, just to give them a bit of a hip check. But maybe it's an opportunity maybe to become one of their partners, and they work with a lot of businesses that not necessarily on-sell your stuff, but maybe you have to help them with their compliance so that when they go to market, they can win bigger deals, like I think you said before.
Yeah.
You may or may, I don't want to call them out on the pod because there's too many people that will be listening to this and it may or may not work, but I can definitely see an opportunity for you helping the people that help the businesses at scale.
Yeah, it's all about helping people ultimately. Like we all need to provide for our families and make a living, but I love this industry because it is more than just making a living. You can help people, protect people. We partner with we're very like specific in what we're good at. So if we're not good at it, we find other people to do it. And I find that's rare in business, but it's rare in our industry too. People can be a bit catty and a bit like, this is my patch, don't touch it.
Not always, for sure.
Yeah.
And how big is the business in terms of people? And you say we do this, we do that. How many people in your?
So there's about 6 of us in total, but we're growing. We're doubling revenue every 3 months at the moment. So hopefully we'll be up to 8 by the end of the year. Hopefully.
I can imagine the COVID world would have been the perfect storm for you.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was kind of like a false positive, but I think security can also be a real enabler for business. So it made people more efficient. They could work from home. They could get access to data quicker. They could do things quicker. I think that's been a net positive. People see it as like a restriction or a compliance check, but the reality is you have good cyber, you have good IT, you have good awareness, you have good budgeting and structure in place to understand, well, where's money going to go? When are we going to spend it? It's not just like panic and throw money at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And where are you based today?
So we're in Mount Martha, still at the same office where Kate was. It still hasn't changed, so it needs probably a lick of paint. But
and can we just talk about in that building? So there was a Telstra big.
Antenna. It's still there, I think.
And you guys installed all of this special stuff to stop the radiation going through the walls.
Yeah, Dad tends to put on his tin hat sometimes. I don't know if that was actually a legitimate concern or that might have just been Dad.
There you go. Well, everyone was terrified in the building because we didn't have
the
protection.
It's got 5G now, so...
Yeah, there you go.
It means you're just going to get the virus quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. Well. That's amazing, man. Congratulations. And so one of the things that fascinates me about the world that we live in is people are doing all these obscure and different things to make money. What actually lights you up to get out of bed in the morning? Is it the fact that you had a near-death experience and you're grateful to be here, or you're like wildly passionate about trying to make some money to then head back to ski season, or like what's your why and what gets you up?
I would definitely admit that I wasn't as motivated as I am now before it all ended. I think a lot of people need a kick in the head, literally, that might help them realize that, okay, well, I do this job that I hate, or I have this relationship I don't enjoy, or I have friends that don't appreciate me. Why the hell are you still doing it?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very purposeful in what I'm doing, and I know where I'm going, and I never had that when I was younger, it's hard. I've lost a little bit of me, but at the same time, it definitely helped me grow and become a better person. So
how long was the recovery?
Well, the 90% of it's the first year, and then takes about 5 years ultimately.
Right.
But I still have medical appointments on an annual basis and all those things. Never really ends.
How long ago was this accident or incident?
It was the year before COVID, 2018.
19.
And was that the end of your travelling? You came straight home?
Yeah. Ironically, I married a British woman, so still have to travel.
Yeah.
But yeah, permanent travel is done, I think.
Yes.
And how did you convince her to come to Australia?
Well, actually, we met here.
Okay.
And she had a great opening liner. She said, "If you die, can I have your skis?"
Wow.
And I was like, I think that one she'll do.
So have you edged that into the marriage certificate?
Yeah. So yeah, that's
She liked to ski as well?
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll take the boy up this year as well.
How old is he? He's
10 months.
10 months?
Oh,
He's a bit young to ski, but we'll get him in the snow.
Well, my daughter was skiing like just after she was 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still in a diaper. We lived in the US for 10 years. Maddie lived in the US for 5 or 6 years. She's now 13. But I remember she was she was a stickler for the rules, and it said kids can't ski if they're in diapers. And I just said, don't tell them there's a diaper in your pants. It'll just look like you've got extra padding. And she was like, no. They said no. I said, you can do it. I promise you. Anyway, I've got footage of her skiing down Big Bear Mountain, California,
Nice.
in diapers. Not literally just only in diapers, but
yeah.
she wasn't toilet trained properly.
So cool.
Yeah, so we love it. We do a Maddie and Daddy ski trip. We haven't done it for a while now because of COVID, but we might do it in this holiday, like half year break in the June, July, if we're not
Sleeping
doing
out,
the
see
sleep
you
out.
sleep
Yeah,
out.
that's right. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just talk about it. I really want to do
We've got
it.
to look it in.
But yeah, I have an appreciation for skiing. Although if you said, hey, we can go to a beach or a ski holiday, I'm taking the beach every time.
Well, you're a good surfer as well. So your dad was an amazing surfer, wasn't he? So
He's still going.
Is he?
Surfing at 79.
Wow.
And still skiing.
So I just remember your dad coming into the gym and he wouldn't have his shoes on, or he'd have his thongs, he was heading to the beach or whatever else. And I was like, he actually really had work-life balance, didn't he?
Yeah, he nailed it. For context, my old man floated 2 companies on the ASX. One that made it to the ASX 200 for a while, I think.
Wow.
But he dropped board meetings to go surfing.
Yeah, wow.
He was always at football training. He did go on trips and he missed things as a dad, but he was incredibly present and aware of that it ends.
The most
surprised-
humble man as
No
well.
doubt.
And your mum, Patty. Beautiful.
Drives an old
beautiful.
busted car. You wouldn't know he's worth money at all. Wears
No.
the same old clothes.
It's often the way,
holes.
right? It's often the way.
He likes the challenge. He doesn't necessarily care for the money that much.
Yeah.
Just loves the challenge of business. He's
I love
still
that.
starting another one as well.
No way.
Yeah.
And you've
well,
got
Warren
siblings.
Buffett is just like, well, Warren Buffett's doing it in his 90s. I can do it in my 70s. So.
And your siblings worked in the family business as well.
2 of my brothers did, yeah. And then
that's right.
Claire and me needed our
Yes.
own thing. So, yeah.
There you
I'm
go.
surprised your dad didn't go, I'm having a board meeting and be out on the surfboard.
Yeah, I know. It'd be a good pun.
Yeah.
That's more my brother's style, those kind of jokes.
Okay, yeah. I appreciate that. I'm a dad, so I like my dad jokes.
No, I'm tuning up.
Yeah, you're
I'm
getting
gonna
up
get
there.
better at it.
That's great. Mate, Kate's gonna get all your details. We're gonna put it all in the description in the show notes. So you can connect with Billy. We'll find him on LinkedIn. We'll also steer you towards his cybersecurity business. So if you're in need, which you definitely are, because 8 out of 10, he won't admit it, 8 out of 10 are. And so check the show notes below. We'll link you with Billy's details. We'll come back after the break, but before, a message from Luna. weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off. Kate, another superstar has exited the pod.
I love it when things come back around. So knowing Billy a couple of decades ago, or at least 15-ish years ago, and his whole family, and such a beautiful family. And you know when you meet someone and you know they're going places, just so smart back then and even smarter now. And yeah, it's great to reconnect.
That's amazing. There's three things that stood out to me. The first is his passion for skiing.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do anything on this world to just be able to walk away from it all and just play basketball.
Oh yeah.
I would just love to just be
7
at it.
years.
Yeah, just cruise, right? Maybe NBA game to NBA game, or NBL game to NBL game. I'd just love to be able to do that. So like my hat goes off to him that he chased the winter for 6 years and followed a passion.
And the role modeling from his dad as well. I significantly remember his dad's bare feet.
Yeah?
And coming in with a bit of sand, you know, surfing all the time, and having the family in the business. And, you know, there's something about that upbringing. I think that's really special.
The second thing is that he got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have all ended for him.
Yeah.
In a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
And now he's living his life with purpose, which is the third thing that stood out for me. He's not just going through the process. He's not just waking up, brushing his teeth, going to work. He's doing stuff that lights him up, stuff that he enjoys. It sounds like he's got a great partner in life and now a newborn, that hopefully he can be what his dad was to him, if not better. And those three things I think make for a really special person. So I'm grateful for Billy coming on the show.
Me too.
And learn all about his cybersecurity as well. And guys, again, all in the show notes below. If you want to check out or connect with Billy on LinkedIn, I've got him in the handle there along with his business. Kate, I'll actually see you on the next one, but we talked about Billy's dad's bare feet.
Yes.
Coming up on the next pod, we have a guy that makes shoes.
Cool.
We might have to connect the two together.
I wonder if he knows him.
We'll have a crack. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next Hear Me Roar.